on the Gulf Coast CW News at 9.
The snow flies across the south and on the Gulf Coast, and it could be a cold night of snow, sleet, and rain. The president stops in Pensacola tonight. Hear what he had to say about the Senate race in neighboring Alabama, and a local substitute teacher arrested for having sex with one of his students.
This is the Gulf Coast CW News at 9.
Hi everyone, I'm Peter Albrecht. Thank you very much for joining us tonight on the Gulf Coast CW. First at 9, we're tracking winter weather in our area. Pockets of cold rain, snow, and wintry mix moving through the south, through lower Alabama, through northwest Florida tonight. Our weather team has been monitoring the conditions closely all day long. Within the past 30 minutes or so, we have gotten what many have been wishing for in Mobile. It is officially snowing in Mobile. This video from Bel Air Mall off of Airport Boulevard. Our newsroom has been getting in pictures of snow from across the area all day long. These are some pictures that Meg Sheffield sent in from Thomasville. Beautiful. And here are some pictures from April Hepstall in Pine Hill, Alabama. That's only about 10-15 miles from Thomasville. You see snow blanketing the area there. Alan Seals joins us now from the Weather Center with a first look at the current conditions.
And currently it feels like winter. Yes, it's a big deal when it snows on this part of the Gulf Coast. As you saw earlier, it was the inland communities that got the big amount so far. Now, here we are, 9 o'clock in the evening. You're looking at a live view from our camera here at News 5, looking across Airport Boulevard toward the malls area, and that is snow. It's not very heavy. You'll notice the traffic still moving without an issue. The reason why, even though the air is cold, and I'm talking 33 degrees, the pavement temperature is still a little bit warmer than that. So nothing is freezing on the surface of the ground, but that could become our big issue later tonight. So right now the snow is pretty. Later tonight it could be hazardous. Here's what we're talking about. A winter storm warning continues for Washington and Clark counties. Those locations picked up 2 inches of snow earlier today, and then into places like Wayne and Choctaw County, it was more like 3 to 6 inches of snow. The rest of us, winter weather advisory because of what you see right there. It's rain transitioning to sleet, transitioning to snow, very gradually moving eastward right along I-65. So again, temperatures in that location above freezing. So in the immediate future, I'm not expecting anything to freeze on the ground, but already going below freezing in our inland communities. Watch how the temperatures move from later tonight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. towards sunrise. There was definitely going to be a freeze almost everywhere. So we hope the wet weather will be done by then, but I'll talk more about that in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Alan. And the Gulf Coast CW will continue to track the winter weather moving through lower Alabama and northwest Florida. We'll have full weather updates throughout this newscast. You can also get up-to-the-minute coverage on our website, WKRG.com. Be sure to share any pictures you might have through our news app or by emailing them to news5@WKRG.com. Now to our other big story tonight at 9 o'clock. President Donald Trump in Pensacola holding one of his Make America Great Again rallies. We have team coverage tonight on the Gulf Coast CW. We'll begin with Debbie Williams live at the Pensacola Base Center with more on what the president had to say. And Debbie, a lot of people were most interested to hear what he had to say about the upcoming Alabama Senate race on Tuesday.
And they weren't disappointed, Pete. He spoke for about an hour and he hit the greatest hits of the Trump administration. You know, jobs, stock markets. He even mentioned Jerusalem in his speech that lasted well. He wrapped up and they emptied out this place. But of course, a lot of the folks in, and he asked, are you here from Alabama? A lot of those folks were yelling on a Senate race next week.
We cannot afford, this country, the future of this country, cannot afford to lose a seat in the very, very close United States Senate. We can't afford it, folks. We can't. We can't afford to have a liberal Democrat who is completely controlled by Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. We can't do it. Can't do it. So get out and vote for Roy Moore.
That was probably the strongest endorsement from the president on the Moore candidacy since the runoff earlier this summer. So a lot of people were happy with that. He is now left the building. He is headed back to NAS Pensacola. Tomorrow he will not be in Alabama again. He will skip Alabama and head to Mississippi, where he will be dedicating a civil rights museum in Jackson. Live in Pensacola, Debbie Williams for the Gulf Coast CW, News at 9.
Thanks, Debbie. Plenty of action in Pensacola tonight happening outside of the Bay Center, where Trump supporters and protesters clashed prior to the president's appearance. The Gulf Coast CW's Brian Clerkley joins us now with more on that aspect of the president's visit. Brian?
Yeah, Peter, so you can see outside right now that people are leaving the Pensacola Bay Center after President Donald Trump gave his speech, and there are no more protesters outside anymore, but it was definitely a busy day with a lot of action out here.
Lock him up! Lock him up! Lock her up! Lock her up!
Outside the Pensacola Bay Center, the cold weather did not stop people from waiting in line to see the president.
This is the president of the United States, man. He's a great man to me. I'm gonna stand in rain, snow, sleet.
Or protesting the president.
I feel bad for a quarter of America because they've been duped by essentially a glorified used car salesman.
At times you could hear protesters yelling anti-Trump chants. And then Trump supporters chanting something back. But no matter what side you were on, people were very passionate.
He's doing everything right. Finally turned America around after Obama, 8 years of Obama.
Our country's at stake. This is seriously important. Democracy is going by the wayside.
Now, there's still a large police presence out here, and even though things did get kind of heated between protesters and Trump supporters today, we didn't see any violence. Reporting live in Pensacola, I'm Brian Clerkley for the Gulf Coast CW News at 9.
Thanks, Brian. Our continuing coverage of President Trump's visit will continue at 10 o'clock on our sister station, News 5, so be sure to tune in for more coverage.